committee that is avoiding. We've been told even in the other committees it has been the same. And when Parliament asks your institution to appear before any of its committees, it wants the head of that institution to appear in person. And here at Parliament, maybe you can remove your arm in the cheek, because you look like you are in court now listening to the verdict. You are not in court. Yeah. Here at Parliament, what we believe in is work here takes precedence. The only thing that will stop you from appearing before committee work, that includes us as members of Parliament, is when I stop breathing or I am sick. These two things, sick, you stop breathing, then I can't come to Parliament. But for as long as I'm breathing and I'm not sick, there is no any other thing that is important. It's Parliament. So that's why we say Parliament takes precedence. So in this matter, we want to caution the IG through you. Go and tell him that the Committee on Cabinet Affairs, sir, they wanted you, as should have been escortees. So next time, sir, there is a call out from the, because this is also a call out, an invitation, from Parliament. You should, sir, appear in person, as we will just escort you. Is that okay?
We are listening, Chair.
Okay. So ordinarily, we should have said until he appears in person. We have done that before. Even with the police. I don't know who was there at that time. It's a growing trend. Maybe we can stop it from here. We'll listen to you. We'll have a conversation. But please, in future, let the IG appear before any committee of Parliament once invited. So, where did we end? You didn't introduce yourself, sir?
We haven't actually started.
You were almost introducing yourself.
We haven't started, Chair. Ordinarily, we are supposed to know who is here, and then you know.
That's my job.
Right, Chair.
That's my job. I was just asking you whether you have introduced yourselves or not. The answer is no, or yes, no. Okay. Yes. Yeah, I was saying that you have been invited to appear before this committee to help us discuss the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center. And in discussing this issue, we extend the immunity that we enjoy as members of Parliament to you, provided under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia. And what this law stipulates is that the information that you are going to provide here to this committee, it should be factual. It should be factual. Once the information is factual, you are protected. No one can hold it against you in any court in Zambia. On the other side, the reverse side of things is that if you choose to provide information that is not correct, then the law will take its course. We have no reason to believe that you will tell us information that is not correct. Yeah, before we delve into our discussion, we need to introduce ourselves. So starting with you as visitors.
I'm head of Criminal Investigations Department in Zambia. Then I have my officers to introduce.
They will introduce themselves. We want to hear their voices.
True, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Members of Parliament. My name is Augustine Sirwamba, Assistant Commissioner of Police and Assistant Director Planning and Policy under the Research and Planning Directorate at the Service Headquarters. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Honorable Ministers. My name is Sikombwambwi Namiluko, Assistant Director, Fraud and Cyber.
We are members of Parliament, committee members, not ministers. No problem.
Good afternoon, the Chair. I'm Superintendent Vincent Mwenda. I'm Senior Planning Officer.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Assistant Superintendent Kumwenda, State Advocate, under Legal Headquarters.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Detective Chief Inspector Mwale Peter. I'm a Senior Investigator under Anti-Fraud and Cybercrime Unit. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon to the committee members. I am Constable Muni Nelson, Legal Officer under Legal and Professional Standards, Zambia Police Service Headquarters.
Okay, thank you. Members?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, witness. I'm Elias Maka Samsonda, Member of Parliament for Chimbamironga in the Northern Province and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And I'm worried, Chair. Our commissioner there, I think his cheek is about to fall. He keeps on holding it. Please feel free, sir. Thank you. I'm Reverend Given Katuta Mwilwa, and I represent the good people of Chienge Lwapula Province on the border of DRC in Zambia. And yeah, I'm worried here. I've only seen one female. Thank you, Chair.
Good afternoon, Chair, and good afternoon, honorable members, and good afternoon, witness. Cliff Mpundu is my name, Member of Parliament for Chembe constituency and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, witness. I'm Peter Piri, Member of Parliament for Mkarika constituency. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Mumbam Hongo from the Office of the Clerk.
My name is Newton Samakai, Member of Parliament for Mwinilunga constituency in Northwestern Province. Thank you. I think we have already done what is supposed to be done. we really don't want you to start telling us about FIC, what it does, what, no? We go straight into the meat, eh? So we start with the adequacy of FIC's legal and policy framework, and you just speak to it in summary form, and then we go to the extent of interagency coordination and the effectiveness of FIC, then challenges and the recommendations that you could have highlighted here. So you may start your submission, sir.
We will have Mr. Sirwamba to read out what we have laid before you, Chair, and then at the close, then if there will be clarifications, then as a team, we will be able to handle the questions if any. Thank you so much.
No problem.
With your indulgence, then,
no
may
problem.
I have Mr. Sirwamba to take it up.
Thank you, Chair. Adequacy of FIC's legal and policy framework in line with international AML or CTL standards. The Zambia Police Service notes that the Financial Intelligence Center Act number 46 of 2010, as amended, generally aligns with international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing standards, particularly the Financial Action Task Force recommendations. The following strengths have been observed. A, FIC is legally empowered to receive, request, analyze, and disseminate financial intelligence to competent authorities, including law enforcement agencies. B, the Act provides for mandatory reporting of suspicious transactions by reporting entities consistent with global requirements. Then C, the framework supports both proactive and reactive intelligence sharing on money laundering, terrorism financing, predicate offenses, and illicit financial activities. However, the ZPS observes gaps that affect operation effectiveness. A, the Act does not sufficiently address emerging risks such as crypto-based laundering, cyber. Overall, the framework is adequate but requires periodic review to respond to evolving financial crime typologies. Number two, the extent of interagency coordination and stakeholder collaboration with law enforcement regulators and financial institutions. The ZPS acknowledges significant improvement in coordination between FIC and law enforcement agencies in that A, collaboration during joint investigations on complex organized crime networks. B, the Financial Intelligence Center is a member of the steering committee, which comprises 21 heads of institutions, including members from the Zambia Police Service. Then the committee meets quarterly. And C, the Financial Intelligence Center is a member of the technical committee, which consists of the 21 members, including Zambia Police Service. The committee's duties include sharing intelligence, coordinating joint investigations, and addressing any matters as need may arise. D, the Financial Intelligence Center disseminates intelligence reports to law enforcement agencies for onward verification and investigation. However, the level of collaboration remains partial and inconsistent due to A, absence of a unified digital platform for secure real-time intelligence exchange, B, inadequate joint training exercises, limiting shared understanding of investigation standards. 3, effectiveness of the FIC in detecting, analyzing, and reporting financial crimes. The FIC continues to provide the high-quality analytical reports which have been useful in guiding the Zambia Police Service investigations into money laundering, B, fraud and the cyber-enabled financial crimes, C, illicit cross-border financial frauds. The intelligence disseminated has resulted in arrests, asset seizures, and the prosecution of criminal networks. However, the effectiveness is limited by the following factors. A, late reporting by some financial institutions reduces the timeliness of intelligence. B, underreporting from designated non-financial businesses and professions such as lawyers, casinos, and real estate agents. C. High complexity of layered transactions requiring advanced analytical tools. D. Limited feedback mechanisms from law enforcement to the FIC on its outcomes. Enhancing analytical capacity and expanding reporting coverage would significantly strengthen the detection chain. 4. Challenges affecting FIC's effectiveness. The Zambia Police Service identifies the following key challenges. 1. Resource constraints, such as inadequate staffing, limited forensic and analytical technologies, inadequate funding. Then 2, legal limitations, such as A, gaps in laws addressing new financial crime typologies. B, insufficient penalties for non-compliance by reporting entities. 3, information sharing bottlenecks, such as A, slow agents data exchange due to bureaucratic procedures. B, inconsistent reporting quality from some institutions. Then 4, low public awareness, such as a limited understanding of anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing, compliance requirements among small businesses and informal sector players. 5, cross-border challenges, weak international cooperation in cases involving foreign jurisdictions, delays investigations, and asset recovery. 5, recommendations on the way forward. The Zambia Police Service proposes the following measures. 1, strengthen the legal framework, such as we amend the FIC Act to cover cyber-enabled laundering, crypto assets, beneficial ownership transparency, and DNFPB's compliance. 2, inter-agency coordination, such as A, enhance an integrated anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing national digital intelligence sharing system. 3, capacity building, such as A, invest in training for investigators on financial crime, cybercrime, and forensic audit. B, expand FIC staffing. And C, invest in modern tools. Then 4, improve reporting compliance, such as enforce stricter penalties for non-compliance reporting entities. B, provide targeted training to high-risk DNFBPs. Then 5, feedback mechanism, such as introduce a formal system for law enforcement agencies to provide outcome-based feedback on investigations arising from its intelligence. 6, adequate resources, such as improving funding as well as recruitment of additional staff. Conclusion, the operations of the Financial Intelligence Center remain a critical pillar in Zambia's anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing. The analysis highlights that operational effectiveness is constrained by emerging financial
Thank you so much, Chair.
Recording in progress.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for your presentation. To start with, FIC deals with matters of white-collar crimes, which you yourself as Zambia Police, as you are under Home Affairs umbrella, you are part. Now, do you have any capacity building programs for our security wing officers under your charge? That is the first.
Recording stopped.
This illicit flow of money laundering involves colossal sums of monies. And if not checked, it can impair the performance of the officers. My question is, how is the funding of these units which are under Home Affairs, that is to do with anti-money laundering and terrorism, how is the funding to curtail the complexity of these crimes? And I'll ask the last question, which is number 3. You,
Recording
as the
in progress.
of investigations, the commissioner in charge of investigation the entire Zambia, the committee would love to know, we are not here, we want to create a society that is very free. We are not here to make you feel that you are being interrogated. No, we just want to make a society where people are able to live in harmony, and you are part of that thing, including ourselves. My question is, how is our performance pertaining to these vices of money laundering and terrorism, illicit financial flows? How do you rate yourselves from 1 to 5, and 5 being the highest? Thank you, Chair.
Okay, maybe they can tackle 3, then we can have another round.
Thank you so much, Chair. I will endeavor to answer all the 3, and if my team feels that there's need for addition, then we will have that one. Then do we have capacity building programs to tackle money laundering, anti-terrorism, funding of anti-terrorism, and the other related offenses? Yes, we do. Last year in 2025, the government was gracious enough to give us resources to train 214 criminal investigations officers, which covers the whole country, every police station, including Chembe police station. The CIO was here in Lusaka, including Chiengi police station. The CIO was there. Kaputa police station, the CIO came here, and I have all their phone numbers that I can call all the CIOs in this country. What did we do during that course was to avail them with a training that help them attend to current crimes and developing crimes that are occurring in society. Capacity building, we are going ahead this year, beginning next week, Monday, to again train a specialized cybercrime investigators, which has been funded to us by the graciousness of Bank of Zambia. We are beginning a course next week, Monday, to improve on these crimes that are occurring. Number 2, how is the funding and money laundering, FIC, and the rest? I would only be able to account for funding at Zambia Police Service. I would not talk about funding at FIC or at National Anti-Terrorism. Funding is adequate. We have, as I have reported, Chair, trained investigators. To train 214 at a go is actually something that is worth acknowledging and gobbled colossal amounts of money. And from that training, which was starting in June up to August, we have seen improvement in service delivery. Then the last one, how is the performance in money laundering? The third question actually affects all of us to make an assessment of how we are performing. The truth of the matter is every day someone is scammed, someone is swindled, and things like that. Many persons of interest shy away from Zambia Police, Drug Enforcement, and other investigative wings to report because of the embarrassment sometimes that goes with being scammed. Several citizens have been scammed some colossal amounts of money. I remember of some senior defense officials, year 2025, that were scammed of different amounts of monies ranging from 150,000, 80,000, and 40,000, with some that did not report. So our performance rated 1 up to 5, I would say we are at 3. The reasons are sometimes the scammers would use a gadget or maybe a phone number to scam someone and then destroy it, and that is the end. So we'll try to follow and find that we may not find. We still have, Chair, in this country, unregistered SIM cards. What do I mean by unregistered? Not registered with a name, but they are functioning. So that affects us. But our relationship with FIC is excellent in these investigations. When they come across information requiring that they share with us as an investigative wing, they have always done that. And when we are inquiring ourselves, when we are investigating, they have given us responses. So it's two-way. Sometimes information we generate with them from Financial Intelligence Center. Sometimes it generates with us because we have received a complaint, then we ask the indulgence of Financial Intelligence Center. That is how I would present the 3 questions. Thank you so much, Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Commissioner. I'll take you to page 2. The extent of inter-agency coordination and stakeholder collaboration with law enforcement, regulators, and financial institutions. I've read through and I looked at where you gave your much concern in this, where it says, however, the level of collaboration remains partial and inconsistent due to, 1, or A, absence of a unified digital platform for secure real-time intelligence exchange, inadequate joint training. Now, then I'll take you back to C on top there before you, under 2C, the Financial Intelligence Center is a member of the technical committee, which consists of 21 members, including the Zambia Police Service. The committee's duties include sharing intelligence, coordinating joint investigations, and addressing any matters as the need may arise. Now, I have a question for you, Commissioner, with your team, which I even asked another witness which came before this committee. The issue of you already share the information, and you're already in that group of two. This team comprises 21 members. Now, the question I have is that why would you want to have a unified digital platform? Because it's very easy to leak the information, like the Honorable has mentioned. We're talking about colossal sum of money. It's not the small monies that we're talking about. In other words, it's for the big fish. Or if there's a word big fishes who are involved, it's not a person like me, but big fishes, of course, big companies. Now, when we have this, don't you think there will be that compromise? Because even those big fishes, they are aware that they're being investigated when they're moving the monies. So don't you think this, when you have a so-called unified digital platform, can lead to leakage of information to, to the so-called big fish who are being investigated? It's like just when you're dealing with drug lords. There will be somewhere they'll find a way of getting who sits on the committee. And, they can be maybe informed, hey, listen, you're being investigated, and they are closing in on you. So I want you maybe to take the assurance or that you can give to the nation or this committee, that this unified digital platform will not be a source of leakage of information? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Anything else? Honorable Mswanda?
Thank you, Chair. I'm referring to something on page 2, where you say the Act does not sufficiently address emerging risks such as crypto-based laundering, cyber-enabled financial crime, etc. Now, yet on the same page you are saying the steering committee meets quarterly, and yet we are talking about enhancing capacity. Now, don't you think in the interim it would be prudent for this steering committee to meet more frequently and share options on how they can counter these crimes? The second question is that in your presentation you alluded to the fact that the penalties for non-compliance by the reporting entities are not that punitive. Do you have any suggestions on how these penalties can be realigned? Thank you.
Police?
Thank you so much, Chair. Why a unified digital platform? We are looking at consolidating what we are doing as a team, and if this would be done, would not be a fora for leakages, because in investigations we will have specialized officers that are trustworthy that are attached to this one. It would not open up like it becomes porous, open just to every Jim and Jake just because they are under criminal investigations or they are under financial intelligence unit. In an event that this one was actualized, it would bring up on board a team, select team represented by trustworthy members from each institution, so that in the spirit of intelligence, when we are looking at one matter, for instance, if someone has been scammed, I'm giving us an example, then this team quickly meets and then studies that matter and then come up with the results. I wish to report that as at now, if we want information from Financial Intelligence Center, we have to write through my office to request for information. Now, sometimes, okay, in criminal investigations, time is of essence. The more you delay, the more you lose information, and the more the criminals move away from where they are needed. The Inspector General of Police, for example, does not supervise Financial Intelligence Center that they can wake up at 01 to come and attend to an emergency. We have to write at 8 hours, send the letter at 10 hours, and wait for a response of maybe an emergency that the criminals are moving and information may be tampered with if it was like in an institution like a bank. That is for number one. Then whereas we meet every quarter as an interagency, 21 institutions, which includes Financial Intelligence Center, we are still able to function between meetings. What it means is if we are meeting in January this year, then we have to meet in April, then it means between January and April, we will still correspond on matters of interest that come between this period of time. Intelligence meetings are a review of our performance during the period under review, when we look at the challenges that we have had or the successes that we have achieved between that time. Then recommendations that we would make as to how we would function is still every institution may have loopholes and some may be untrustworthy individuals, but that we recommend a team like other countries have done that comprises of investigative teams. For the information of this House, Financial Intelligence Center can come across a crime but are not mandated to arrest a person. So information must come quickly to the institutions that arrest. That is Drug Enforcement Commission, Zambia Police Service, and Anti-Corruption Commission. And they have been gracious enough to bring this information when they come across it. But if we would have a team that 24 hours look at that, it would help us. Training, if we would also train, we train in different institutions, from different institutions. The training that we avail Zambia Police Service, investigators, like criminal investigators, may be slightly different from that which Financial Intelligence Center does, may be slightly different from the one that Drug Enforcement does, may be slightly different from what Anti-Corruption Commission does. But if we would train a team that actually focuses on emerging crimes, then we would succeed. Referred in this document, Chair, is crypto offenses. There is also one that I would wish to bring to your attention, Chair, which is called harawa. You may not have heard of that word, but it is functioning in fraud. Harawa is where, if I have my mother in Mwinirunga and you have your mother in Lusaka, then we agree, I live in Mwinirunga, you live in Lusaka, you want money to give to your mother, then I give your mother, I that live in Mwinirunga. Then you give my mother who lives here in Lusaka. What does this system bring is money does not move in wires that you can investigate it. So criminals have abused that system that money doesn't move. You just have to phone someone in Lusaka, take money to such an institution in Lusaka, 10 million US dollars. Because in Dubai, you will also, the other person will take 10 million to the gold house in Dubai. So money has not moved. So if you are investigating such a matter, which mode do you use? There is no gadget used. Money has not been sent through wire. It's not there. So there are emerging crimes that investigators have to sit down and begin to discuss as and when they resurface. Investigators must not be trotting behind criminals. They must be ahead of them.
Very good. Yeah. Okay. My worry is on SIM cards that are not registered. What are you doing about it? Because that's a very serious issue. What is the police doing about it? Or government? What is government doing about that?
Thank you so much, Chair. Chair will remember that in the year 2024, 2025, ZICTA closed down thousands of numbers that were not registered. What does that announce? It means they exist. If you can close them, you are saying they are in existence. So what are we doing is intervolically alerting mobile service providers that we have such, and we are in touch with MTN, Airtel, and Zamtel, alerting them that we are getting such. And sometimes you only discover this, Chair, at a time a crime has been committed. Because just hunting that this one has a number that is not registered becomes a bit tricky. It is when sometimes this SIM card has been used for commission of crime that we discover that such a number is not registered. The service providers are day and night as well tracing numbers that are not registered and submitting to ZICTA, a body that then is mandated to shut down such a SIM card. So we are tirelessly pursuing these unregistered SIM cards. They will be used every security arrangement will have loopholes, but then every day we discover one, then we're able to seal such loopholes. We are in touch with Zicta on a daily basis. Thank you so much.
Okay. I think we need to come to a close. Thank you very much for making an appearance, but please take our message to the IG, don't forget. And at this juncture, I'm removing the immunity that was given to you. You use the immunity that is in your uniforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chair, and for your patience, and we will do our best to address this one.
Yeah.
We didn't prepare this just to answer questions. We prepared this just to highlight what we do, and we are also open to advice as to where you think we can do better. We also encourage members of the public in the country that those that are defrauded of their money must not shy away from reporting from the police, because if this trend continues, then criminals will take charge. Thank you so much, Chair.
Thank you very much. It's a good paper, by the way. Yeah.
That submission from the Zambia Police Service marks the end of business in the Committee on Cabinet Affairs. Just a reminder to our dear listeners, dear viewers locked onto Parliament TV, that this afternoon we're airing deliberations that are taking place in the Committee on Cabinet Affairs. This afternoon we have 3 witnesses. These were the Zambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We also had the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, and just a while ago we listened to that submission from the Zambia Police Service. As I said, that marks the end of business in the Committee on Cabinet Affairs. Just to mention that as Parliament TV, we are dedicated to bringing Parliament closer to you, and you can join us tomorrow morning for more live parliamentary committee sittings. And to mention that earlier on during the day, we also had submissions from various witnesses that made their submissions to the Committee on Education, Science and Technology. So we just hope that you did enjoy watching Parliament TV today, following the deliberations that we did broadcast live from here, Parliament Building, specifically Old Committee Rooms. And at this point, we say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for your viewership. As always, we hope that you'll be with us tomorrow. This has been Mtalifili Lesmate, alongside my sign language interpreters, Chola Kaoma and Jason Manda, not forgetting the entire production crew here at Parliament Buildings. So from all of us, we wish you a very lovely evening, hoping that you'll be with us tomorrow beginning at about 09:30 hours, when we indeed broadcast to you live deliberations from the committees. Stay blessed.